Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is exactly playing out this bearish signal here in the short term as expected, as the price of Bitcoin is now forming a new pattern that we need to pay attention to, while massive Bitcoin whales are currently closing huge long positions. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the weekly Bitcoin chart, and right now things are still looking very bullish on these larger time frames. And taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin chart, right now we're technically still within a larger bull market, as we can see. But with that being said, we are starting to lose some bullish momentum just in the short term. But this is very normal to see even during a bull run, because this is pretty much exactly what we saw around 1 year ago. Because as we saw back then, first of all, around October going into November, and then right at the start of December, we were in a bull run, a larger bullish move in the price of Bitcoin. But during that bull run, we did take a bit of a break for roughly around a month or so of mostly just sideways price action, chopping around sideways, as we did lose some bullish momentum here in the weekly Bitcoin MACD. And right now, we're just starting to potentially lose some bullish momentum in this weekly Bitcoin MACD, telling us we could be due to see a bit more of a sideways consolidation maybe in the coming weeks during the larger bull market. Because once again, a bull market is not only 100% only bullish price action, we can see pullbacks and sideways consolidations here and there during a larger bull market. And if we're taking a look at the 4-day Bitcoin chart, right now the super trend indicator is still sitting in the green, indicating a larger bullish market. So once again, on the larger time frames, things are still looking bullish when we're talking about the longer term trend, but just in the somewhat shorter term during that larger bull market, we're losing a bit of bullish momentum, which is very normal to see, especially after a massive bullish movement. And if we're taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin chart, of course, part of the reason as to why we're losing some bullish momentum in the shorter term is most likely due to the fact that we are running into this major point of resistance at approximately $100,000. First of all, at 100K, we have a strong psychological level of resistance because so many people are focusing on $100,000 per Bitcoin. But we also have this 1618 Fibonacci level, or Fibonacci extension, which is sitting at around 102,000. So right at around 100K to 102K, we have very strong resistance right there, which is exactly why the price is struggling around that area on the price chart. And with that being said, if we're taking a look at the 3-day time frame, as for important support, in case we were to see a decent pullback here, we should find significant support at approximately 89,000, give or take. And we do have some other support levels in the short term that I'll mention in just a moment. But first, if we actually see a confirmed breakout beyond $100,000, or when we actually see a confirmed breakout beyond 100,000, the next major price target to the upside is sitting at around $113,000 per Bitcoin, based on this 2618 Fibonacci extension. And if we're taking a look at the 12-hour time frame, of course, we still have an active bearish divergence playing out right now, which I've been talking about over the last week, give or take. And so, as always, a bearish divergence tells us that we're losing bullish momentum in the short term, which means we're most likely going to see either a sideways consolidation, so choppy sideways price action like this, or potentially a bit more of a correction as the most likely outcomes from a bearish divergence. And this is exactly what we saw 4 years ago in the price of Bitcoin on the same time frame. And so in case you're new to crypto, this is not Bitcoin's first bull market. We saw a bull market back here 4 years ago near the end of 2020, entering into early 2021. But before we ultimately saw a breakout in the price of Bitcoin into new all-time highs beyond that all-important 20K level, which was strong psychological resistance back then. But before we actually saw that breakout, we saw a lot of struggle in the short term as a bearish divergence played out on the 12-hour time frame, exactly like what is happening right now. But before we saw that breakout, we saw struggle for around 3 weeks, give or take. So for the most part of a month, we saw the price basically play out choppy sideways price action, which means short-term dumps and short-term bounces as well. And as we can see in the current day price action, that's exactly what has been playing out exactly as expected, because obviously I've been talking about this over the last 1 to 2 weeks or so, and I continue to expect this type of price action at least for the next week, possibly even another 2 weeks before ultimately breaking up beyond 100,000. So like I've been saying over and over again here on the channel, just be patient. This is very much expected. But if you want to get set up ready to go to take the next trading opportunity in the price of Bitcoin, personally, I take most of my trades over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link below this video to make your Bybit account and deposit on that account, then you can get a 500 USDT position airdrop. But that is only available if you use that link below this video to make your Bybit account and deposit on that account. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there's also Bitfinex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitfinex, which means if you're in the US or the UK, for example, or another country where you might not be able to access Bybit, you can access Bitfinex. So I'll also leave a link to Bitfinex below this video. And if you use that link to make your account, you can get up to a 5.5k deposit bonus. And only if you use that link, you can get an exclusive 10% discount on all trading fees on the Bitfinex exchange forever. But that's only available if you use that link below this video to make your Bitfinex account. But with that being said, zooming into the short-term Bitcoin charts, looking at the 6-hour time frame, right now we are exactly playing out this bearish signal, this short-term warning signal, as I talked about in my last video before this little pullback actually happens. And so as I said yesterday, of course, we've seen this bearish crossover in the 6-hour Bitcoin MACD in the past. And if we're looking at the last couple of times this has happened, we either saw just a short-term dump followed by some choppy sideways price action, or even just a little bit more of a pullback. So basically no more bullish price action over the next few days here, most likely short-term bearish price action, or at the very least choppy sideways price action. So once again, we've pretty much lost all of the bullish momentum just in the short term. Remember, this is only talking about a matter of hours or days, because once again, as I always say near the beginning of these videos, as of recent, if we're zooming out to the larger timeframes, when we're talking about a matter of months, things are still looking very bullish on the larger timeframes. But right now in the short term, it is quite clear that we're losing a lot of bullish momentum. And in fact, we've already lost pretty much all of the bullish momentum just in the short term here. And right now, the price of Bitcoin is forming a new pattern here on the 4-hour time frame, which is a symmetrical triangle pattern, also known as a horizontal triangle pattern. And this line of resistance right here is sitting at around 97.8k, and this line of support is currently sitting at around 94.2k. So in order to confirm a break from this pattern, we need to see a candle close on the other side of one of these price levels. And so as of right now, of course, at the time of recording this video, we have not yet actually confirmed a break of either of these levels, which means this pattern is not currently playing out. We have no active price target based on this pattern right here. But if, for example, we see a candle close below that line of support, then in that case, that would set up a short-term bearish price target, which would be sitting at approximately $87,000 per Bitcoin, which should also act as major support at around 87,000. But before then, we also have a lot of support just underneath 90,000. And of course, as I said earlier in the video, we do have a decent amount of support as well at around 89,000. So just underneath 90,000 once again. And as for a bullish price target, if we actually confirm a breakout above that line of resistance right here without breaking below that line of support, then in that case, the bullish price target would be sitting at around $106,000 per Bitcoin. So from the point of the breakout to that price target, we're talking about around an 8% move towards the upside, or with a 10x leverage long position, could be around an 80% profit. And so this is another potential trading opportunity that we could take here. And for the beginners out there, no, I'm not saying Bitcoin's either going to go up or down. I'm giving you a trading opportunity. So how this would actually work as a trader is essentially once we confirm a break of one of these levels, then at that point, that activates one of those price targets. And so for now, while the price is still within this pattern right here, we simply wait for a break, wait for confirmation. But let's just say once we see a candle close below this line of support, let's just say that happens right around here, that could be a signal to possibly enter a short position or just watch the price to go to the downside before potentially buying at a lower price towards that price target. Or on the other hand, if we never confirm that break to the downside and instead we actually confirm a candle close just above this resistance, right at that point, right above that resistance, that is the point to potentially buy or go long towards this bullish price target. That is simply how this works, so that we can make money no matter what direction the price goes. All we need to know is the entry and the exit, so the potential signal to enter the trade and the potential price target in either scenario. But personally, I would be a little bit careful trying to short Bitcoin. So if we break towards the downside here, personally, I'd not necessarily want to enter a short position. And that's simply due to the fact that on the larger time frames, we're technically still in a larger bull market. And personally, I try to only look for long positions when we are in a bull market. And then a bear market's the opposite. I try to look for short positions during a bear market because obviously that's what's more profitable. And as always, even if we see a break of one of these levels, activating one of those price targets, we cannot ignore support and resistance. So of course, we have those other levels of support and other levels of resistance that can prevent the price going towards these price targets. So those are also potential points on the chart to take some profits out of a trade in those situations. And speaking about taking profits from positions, if we're taking a look at the 4-hour time frame for the Bitcoin long positions on the Bitfinex exchange, over the last one day, we've seen a massive drop off in the Bitcoin long positions, as you can see. And if we're measuring that drop off from this local high down to where they're sitting at right now, we've seen a drop off of around 6,000 Bitcoin. In other words, 6,000 Bitcoin worth of long positions have closed on that one exchange over the last one day. And so essentially that's 6,000 Bitcoin that's essentially been sold, because when you close a long position, that's basically the same effect as selling Bitcoin. And so in dollar terms, over the last one day, that's over $500 million, over $500 million worth of Bitcoin has essentially been sold by Bitcoin whales over on the Bitfinex exchange, as we could see, because obviously it's not a whole bunch of retail traders just collectively selling all of that Bitcoin all at the precise exact moment in time. Obviously, this is perhaps one or just a few traders together closing very large positions all at once. So this either means they're just taking a bit of profits off the table, because of course we are at close to all-time highs. Obviously, the all-time high is just underneath $100,000. So they could just be taking a bit of profits off the table, or they could be expecting potentially a little bit more of a pullback. So either way, in the short term, once again, those whales are just reducing their risk. So keep that in mind moving forward, at least in the short term here. But as always, if you want to trade these moves in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, check out those links down below this video to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.